x86 and click on select. Okay, ma? Do you know how to select the operating system, AMI? Next step. Next is asking for instance type. Which is the instance type? T2 micro. And it's already selected, no? So we no need to do anything there. Otherwise, in real time, if you want any other things, you just go and then select it. You can search it also here. So in our course, we should always go with the T2 micro. So if you want to see more instance type, do you see here? Compare instance type, click on it. I just wanted to show you. How many instance types are there? 399 are there. Inside this, which one we should be using it? T2 micro usage. So in T2 micro, how many CPUs you have? 1 CPU. How much memory? 1 GB memory. And low to moderate your network performance. And if you keep on going bigger one, you will get 2, 4, 6, 8, 32 GBs you'll get. And you see the T3 family is also there. And if you want to know, sir, what is the difference between T2 and T3? Should I go and select T2 micro or T3 micro? So guys, which one is the latest? T2 or T3? Which one is latest? T3, no. Next version. So T3 is the latest one. So you will get always a good feature and good performance you will get. Okay. So or else you can go to internet and check T2 micro versus T3 micro, T2 versus T3. So you see the nice difference based on your requirement. If it is suitable, select accordingly. So here, see here also nicely you can see T2 micro. So T2 micro, low to moderate. It is low to moderate. And also, if you go for T3 micro, do you see the speed up to 5 GB? Do you see the difference now itself here? So T2 micro has low to moderate, whereas T3 micro has up to 5 gigabytes of network speed. You have it. So this is the best example of having the difference between them. So should we go for T2 or T3 micro? Let's go with the T2 micro only. And I told you, instance store volumes. Remember instance store volumes? And is it possible for us to go and select the size of instance store volume? No. How do you get it? From AWS, they will give. How? By selecting the bigger instance type. Correct? By selecting the bigger instance type. If you come down all the way, down. Do you see this here? Storage? Right? Whoops. So if you come all the way down to the bigger ones, and do you see this here? 800 in storage section, you have 1800 SSD storage, 200 for 3600. You get it. All these are all what? These are all instance store volumes. So if you select this C5D X large, if you select C5D 24X large, you will get 192 GB memory. And how much instance store volume you will get? 3600, which is free. Okay. But do you select that? No way. So you see that I don't know why the console is going up all the time. So I'll just go with the T2 micro only. But remember, in your real time, if any of the developer comes and asks you, hey boss, I need 64 GB RAM machine. Will you blindly go ahead and then give 64 GB RAM EC2 instance? Don't do that. Because how does the developer know how much size does he need? 64 GB RAM meaning you need to go for the bigger one. Let's say 32 GB. 32 GB meaning T2 2X large you need to go. Is it if it's just mouth? No, it's just word. He'll ask, hey, I need this much. As an AWS engineer, what you should do? You should ask the number of questions to him. Hey, Babu, what is the purpose of having the EC2 instance? And he'll say, I want to deploy application. What type of application? Is that application takes more CPUs or does this application take more memory? You need to ask this question. How much size that you need? Volume size, because we need to mention the size, right? And then and how many people will be connecting to your application? Based on that, you need to select the RAM, no? So based on that information, you need to go and select this. So if we say that based on that, You can start with T2 small, having how much GB? 2 GB RAM. Does he know 2 GB RAM in the backend? No. So he'll start accessing it and he say, no, it is having bad performance. Now, can you scale up to 4 GB? And he'll say that, yes, now it is performing well. Where is 4 GB? Where is 32 GB? Right? So if there is any performance impact, you can keep on increasing. You can scale up based on the requirement. Okay? Nice. And here also you can easily see how many CPUs are there, how much memory is there for each and every instance type. So I'm going with the T2 micro. Select, click on select instance type. So basically, you no need to do anything because T2 micro is already selected. Okay, now? Next is key pair. Remember key pair? What is the key pair is used for? To retrieve the password, right? So do we have any key pair created? But you see, it is required to have the key pair. Should we go and create a new key pair? Yes? Click on create new key pair. So I call it as 9 a.m. batch. Okay? And then you can, here you have RSA and ED 25519 and then PEM on PPK. So go with RSA, which is PEM file. Can you create the PPK file also here? You can create, but I'll show you how to convert this PPK to PEM later. But which is the one which you should create? RSA and then go with the PEM. So basically, no need to change anything. There was a big family pack question went up. How can assign instance type? Always we need to do a trial or is there a way to choose accurate? Just now we discussed. There is a question here. How can we assign instance type? Based on what? Just now we discussed. No. I gave so many things already, Akhil. One is ask your developers what type of application, what type, how many people are using it, how much size that you need, how much everything you need to ask. Based on that, you should get an idea, no, as an AWS engineer, how much size of GB RAM you need. So based on that, you go for it. What I'm saying here is don't go blindly and launch because end of the day, it will be billable. It is charged for your company. So later your manager will come and ask, why boss, why I'm getting this much money, this much bill on AWS. So will you go randomly go and pick it up 24 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB as your teammate or girlfriend asks, give me 64 GB RAM? Will you go and launch? No. Right? No partialities here. Okay. So let's go with RSA and PEM and click on create key pair. Click on create key pair. Do you see key pair got downloaded? So we need to keep this key pair very safe. So I take it, I cut it, and somewhere I go and put it over here. 9 a.m. batch. Okay? Huh? What? Okay. So do you see 9 a.m. batch got created here? So every time when you launch an EC2 instance, do you need to create the key pair multiple times? No need. So we already have it. See, we already have 9 a.m. batch. Select that always. RSA option is good for your PEM file. So next ED is related to your PPK. RSA will be used for Windows, ED for your Linux. So, okay. Next, is it clear on the key pair? Next, network settings. So here, you need to click on edit. Click on edit. Chitty, carefully listen. So VPC, everything we should be inside the VPC only, no? So I told you, there is a default VPC provided by AWS, and that is a default VPC. That is a default VPC. This is default. So you can ask, sir, can we create our own VPC? We can create, but not now. When we go to VPC section, when we learn about VPC, there I'll teach you how to create a VPC. But until that, we should be using which one? Default VPC. And which security group? Default security group. So let's go with the defaults. Okay. So here, select the VPC and then subnets. Chitty, by the way, how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? 3. What are those? AP minus South minus 1A, AP minus South minus 1B, AP minus South minus 1C. And then, did we learn in our theory, one subnet is associated to one availability zone? Did we learn that? And do you see this here? We are talking about subnet. And where do you go and launch an EC2 instance? In the subnet only, no? So here, how many subnets are there? 3 subnets. Because one subnet is associated to one availability. Do you see this here? AP minus south minus 1A. And then AP minus south minus 1B, AP minus south minus 1C. And this is the subnets. And you might ask, sir, how did we got subnets there? As we have selected default VPC, default subnets will be there. So we will be using the default subnets. So which one you need to select here? 1A na, 1B na, 1C na? Why 1A? You can select anything. But I would recommend to go with 1A and 1B because 1C always has problems. Okay? Go with either 1A or 1B. Okay, Nana? If you select no preference, what will happen? It will go and launch in any of the availability zone. So let's go with the AP minus south minus 1A. Click on it. Okay. I selected the subnet. Which one? 1A I have selected. Okay, you're launching the EC2 instance now. By default, what type of... Yes, Babu, Daya. If you create a custom VPC, of course, we need to create subnets and all, but don't go there. You are eating your own biryani, right? And then you are watching other tables chicken lollipop. You are eating biryani. You are, sir, will I get the chicken lollipop? You will get macha. Okay, so but wait. Once we finish this, we'll go and learn that. Okay, that's the reason why I don't mix it up. Okay, when time comes, we'll learn. Okay, see here. You select the subnet. Which is the default IP that you get for your EC2 instance? Which is the default IP? How many types of IPs are there? 3 types. What are those? Public IP, private IP, elastic. Which is the default one you get? Private you will get. No. Which is one? Private you get. Private is mandatory. Correct? And the public IP and the elastic IP both are optional. Correct? If at all you want to connect it from internet, you assign the public IP or elastic IP. Otherwise, no need. But as we are in the internet only, no. So we need to assign the public IP, yes or no? Yes, we need to assign it. Do you see this? Auto assign public IP. You want to enable or disable? But in real time, disable it. Because in real time, you will be connecting from company to AWS. So company to AWS meaning what is the connection you have? VPN. Right? Using VPN. So if you are connecting from the VPN, it is private to private only, no? So from your company, you can directly connect to your EC2 instance with a private IP. As we are connecting from the internet, that's why we'll be connecting using public IP. Okay, Nana? Nice. Slowly. Aram se. Smooth as butter. And next here is firewall. So do you create a security group or will you select an existing security group? Yes. Which one? Select the existing. But because I told you not to create a new security group, select existing security group. Which one, Nana? Do you see this default there? Select the default security group. Of course. So if you want, you can create a security group, but not now. Okay, don't create it. Just follow my instructions. Okay. Is it clear on the network settings? Everyone? Okay. So generally, advanced network configurations. Generally, will anyone go and open that advanced network configurations? Generally, no one is interested, right? But what we do? We'd go extra, correct? Let's go open and then see what is there inside it. Okay. And is there, see Ashok Reddy is telling, we will calicify it. So expand advanced network configurations, expand it. So if you expand it, inside this we have what? Network interface we have. What is that? Network interface we have. What is network interface? Network interface. Network interface card. Put in shortcut. NIC card. What is NIC card? NIC card only, no? You know, right? Every laptop has a NIC card, a network interface card. Okay, here instead of calling it as NIC card, they call it as network interface. You have in your laptop also you have NIC card. IP address will be assigned to your NIC cards only. Correct? Okay, so now here we have network interface here. Listen this carefully. This is advanced topic, no need, but listen, very important. So remember, network interface 1 is there. That meaning 2 can also be created. Do you see add network interface? If you click on it, you have network interface 2. How many you can create network interface? How many you can create? 1 and 2. How many? So for one EC2 instance, how many NIC cards you can have? Last one. Write down certification question. And you will get so many questions here. Keep write. Open your book and write down. For one EC2 instance, you can assign 2 NIC cards. That means network interface card. For one EC2 instance, you can have for one EC2 instance, you can have 2 network interface cards. For one EC2 instance, you can have 2 network interface cards. Network interface card. For one EC2 instance, you can have 2 network interface cards. City. Network interface 1. 2 no we have. 1 is assigned to private IP. Network interface 1 is assigned to private IP. See, first listen. Network interface 1 is assigned to private IP. Network interface 2 is assigned to public IP. See, first year. Network interface 1 is assigned to private IP. Network interface 2 is assigned to public IP. But if you are assigning network interface 2 here for private IP, will you get the public IP anymore? No. That is the reason why auto assign IP. On the top, we have enabled public IP, no? Auto assign public IP here. So that you will not get because generally network interface 2 is related to whom? Public IP. But if you are selecting network interface 2, that will is assigned to the private IP. Will you get the public IP anymore? No. See, either disable auto assign public IP or remove a network interface. So write down network interface 1 is for private IP. Network interface 1 is for private IP. Network interface 1 is for private IP. Okay. Next, network interface 2 is for write down public IP. Write down. If you assign network interface to private IP, you cannot assign public IP to the EC2 instance anymore. Correct, Shatri. That's correct. I understood. It's better to write like that in Notepad. There is a question. If we forget to terminate or delete the running EC2 instances above 25 days, then we will get bill or not. Exactly. Ashok Reddy has messaged, depend upon the usage. Let's say, yes, Venkatesh also replied. If it crosses 750 hours, then it will be billed. But as she is telling only 25 days, if you run 24 hours, 25 days also, it will not cross 750 hours. But unnecessarily, your free usage will be taken off. Don't do that. Okay, did you write that, guys? Okay, now see here. So should I keep network interface 2 or remove? Remove it off because we need to have public IP, no? So remove it off. Okay, see here. Here network interface description, you can give any description. Subnet is this and security group is default security group that you have it. Primary IP. Primary IP is nothing but your private IP. So for every EC2 instance, you will get the private IP. Yeah, correct. So, and you have secondary IP. Let us not go deeper here because one question. For one EC2 instance, can you have multiple IP addresses? Answer is yes. For one EC2 instance, you can have multiple IPs. But if you ask, sir, why? Generally, what we know till now, one EC2 instance, one IP address. But is it possible to have two IP addresses also, 3 also, 4 also? Multiple IPs also you can have per one EC2 instance. Why? Let's not go deep, but I'll just touch it. Okay. So let's say, for example, we have two EC2 instances, 1, 2. This have its own private IPs. Primary IP is nothing but your private IP. Let's say 192.168. 10.20. This is the IP address of the first EC2 instance, and this is the IP address of the second EC2 instance, 21. Those are primary IPs, no? So now all the clients or servers or whichever it is to whom they connect, they'll connect to the private IP only, no? I mean primary IPs only, no? Yes or no? They'll be connecting to this EC2 instance with the primary IPs. So now I have some feature or I have some service where from this EC2 instance, it has to check the heartbeat. Are you alive or not? Like health checks. So this EC2 instance will always ping the second EC2 instance. Like we have a concept called primary and secondary, master slave concept. Advanced, not here. So the primary also always has to check with the secondary. Babu, you there? For replication purpose. You there or not? You there or not? You there or not? Every second it has to ping the second server. But tell me, is it good to ping with this primary IPs? No, because all the customers are connecting to the primary IPs. If you are using this primary IPs, that will get overloaded. For that reason, we will assign a separate IP as a secondary IP to the EC2 instances. Okay. These are primary IPs. These are secondary IPs. These are secondary IPs. So the pings will be happening from the secondary IPs. So because of this kind of reasons, or also networking people will know network teaming is their concept, but we don't talk about it. So, but do you all understand why we need secondary IPs like this? Due to different kind of requirements, you can assign the secondary IPs. But do we need secondary IP now? No need. For that reason, we have the secondary IP. That is fine. And delete on termination. Are we using IPv6? No, we are using only IPv4. IPv6 we are not using yet. And also here, delete on termination. If you terminate your EC2 instance, your NIC card also should get terminated, no? That is why it is by default, yes only. We don't do it. And this is a certification question you will get sometimes. This called EFA. What is that? Elastic Fabric Adapter. So this elastic fabric adapter, guys, is used for network speed purpose. An EFA is a network device that you can attach to your instance. What for what? To reduce latency and increase throughput for your HPC, high performance computing and your machine learning applications. For example, on the EC2 instance, you have some ML. machine learning applications or some HPC, high performance computing applications. For that, you need to have super speed. No, net on the network only it will transfer the data. So the network should be very speed. Throughput should be very high. So if you need to have that kind of throughput, if you're planning to have that kind of applications in our EC2 instance, normal network NIC card is sufficient? No. So you need to enable this EFA. But it is grayed out. Why? Which type of instance type we are using it? T2 micro. For T2 micro, will you enable EFA? It is only 1 GB RAM only, no? You cannot expect to give good performance there. So if you go for bigger instance types, then this EFA will be enabled. Okay? So if you remember, in your real time also, if your team members or your company is planning to put some HPC application or machine learning applications on EC2 instance, make sure you go and enable the EFA so that you will get a good performance. These are tips. Okay, write down. So EFA, elastic fabric adapter. I wrote it there. Elastic fabric adapter is a network device that you can attach to your instance to reduce latency and increase throughput for HPC and ML applications. If you are maintaining a notepad, copy this. No need to write. Okay. Okay, if you are asking only EFA, please, this is the thing that you have to write. Oh, you are asking me to start the class from starting. No problem, just continue. We just started. Okay, na? Done? Okay, nice. Okay, see guys, you all understood in the advanced network configuration, but do have to do anything in here? No need. So close it. Okay, but we have learned. Okay, next is configure storage. Which one? Configure storage. What is the size of the storage? Is nothing but EBS volumes, correct? What is the Linux default storage that you get? Size 8 or 10 GB. Do you see here 10 GB we have it? What is the default volume type? GP2. Do you see GP2? Remember I told you this? So what I said was correct. So by default your volumes are encrypted? No. By default your volumes are not encrypted. So it is says not encrypted. But if required, can you encrypt it? Yes. Which service is that? Huh? No. Which is a service? I'm saying. Which is a service? KMS. Which is a service? KMS you can use. Okay, see here. Now it is 10 GB GP2. Can we have? Do you see this here? You can have all GP2, GP3, I1, I2, ST1, SC1, magnetic, everything is there. But which one is the default one here? GP2 is the default one. So can you add additional volumes also here? Add new volume? You can add if you want. But if you click on advanced, this is fine. But if you click on advanced, let's see what is there. If you click on advanced and expand this volume. See. Storage type is EBS or ISV? EBS. This is a root volume. By default, you get the root volume, right? This is a root volume by default. When you're launching the EC2 ins, you'll get the root volume. So that root volume device name should be what? /dev/SDA1. And then what is the size? 10 GB. What is the maximum size you can give here? Maximum size. Maximum 16 terabyte. So you can go all the way up to 16 hour. But will you go for 16 terabyte now? Don't touch it. Don't increase at all. Volume type is GP2, IO1, 1:3 ratio. Delete on termination. Yes. See here. I told this. If you terminate the EC2 instance by default, your root volume will be deleted automatically. Yes. Why? Checkbox. Okay. What is a checkbox? Delete on termination is checked. That meaning here, previously there was checkbox. Now we don't have checkbox. We have drop down. Okay. Delete on termination is by default. Yes. That meaning if you terminate the EC2 instance, this volume also will be deleted automatically. By default, is it encrypted? No. Root volumes are not, volumes are not encrypted, especially root volume is not encrypted. But if you want to encrypt it, can you encrypt it? Yes. And from where you can encrypt? KMS. I told you that there will be a default key. If it is volumes, AWS/EBS. If it is S3, AWS/S3. If it is RDS, AWS/RDS. If it is EFS, AWS/EFS. If it is volumes, AWS/EBS. Do you see this? There is a default key like this. Just select the keys. That's it. You don't need to do anything. Decryption will be completely handled by AWS. We don't need to. If you want to encrypt, this is an encryption. But why we need encryption? To secure your data. If anyone hacks it, until unless you don't have the encryption key, he cannot see the data. So, but I'm not encrypting it. But do you know how to encrypt it now? Yes. So, do I need to hide this? I'll make it simple now. Okay. Do I need to do any changes here? No. But did we learn everything there? Yes. Okay. Storage, configure storage is fine. And you have 0 into file systems. File system is nothing but EFS. Did we learn about EFS yet? No. So for that reason, don't touch it. When we go to EFS, there we'll learn. And I'm telling you, in this EC2, you have so many options are there. It doesn't require to go and killing for each and every option. You don't need to go and select, use in each and every option. Based on the requirement, you need to select it. Okay. Is it mandatory to go for the encryption now? No need. It's up to you. Whether if you want, you go. Otherwise, no. Okay. Is it clear on the storage section, everyone? Clear? Online, CC? Super. Slowly, arams. Okay. Oh. Okay. Now, after that, we have advanced details. But do we need to worry on advanced details? No. But we'll go in. Yes. So let's expand advanced details. And you have so many things here. But if it is important, you could have put it in the normal section. But as it is advanced, if required, select it. Otherwise, no. But let us see what are the things we have it here. These are all optional. Purchasing option. Which is now we are going and launching the EC2 instance. That EC2 instance, which pricing model that we are using in? On demand. Correct? It is on demand. So if you want to go ahead and then request for spot instance, what is spot? Bidding, auctioning, right? So do we go for bidding now? No need. We don't need to go for bidding. If at all in real time, if you want to go for bidding, see here, select this. If we click on customize, set your maximum price. We need to set our maximum price, no? Select it. And AWS is telling which instance type that we have selected, T2 micro. So here 0.045 is or 4.5 cents is the base price. First he'll say, no, 5,000 rupees. And from there you can start bidding 6,000, 7,000 like that. How much good number you have give, you will get that machine. So here we need to give more than 0.045, correct? Either you give equal or little bit more, then you'll get the machine here. So valid, no expiry date, or you want to set an expiry date. And the interruption behavior is just in case if AWS is taking out your EC2 instance from you, that has to go to a stop state or terminate state, you can choose it. All of a sudden AWS say that, Babu, spot instance will not be with you forever because the price is not sufficient. So AWS will stop a, terminate a, hibernate a, you can choose. So this is how you do the spot. Are we going to do the spot now? Don't do it. But do you understand how to do the spot? Yes. Domain join directory. Have you heard about this? Join to the directory. Heard about it? Huh? Active Directory concept, right? Active Directory. So remember Active Directory. We learned this in key pairs, no? Key pairs. So we can set up an Active Directory and join all the EC2 instances to the domain. So if you have a domain, if you have a directory, you can select. But do we have a directory? Active Directory? No, don't do it because Active Directory will charge $450 per month. Okay. So don't. Oh, yamma, huh? Okay, don't select it. Okay. But don't create a new directory. Chitti. No avesam here. Okay. So don't create a new directories. If you want to create a directory, you need to have a domain with you. You need to configure. You need to give NetBIOS name. You have so many things you have to do. Okay. Instance profile. Instance profile meaning, remember I told we discussed about IAM roles. What is a role? Role. Temporary access without credentials. Starting trouble. Right? So we learn this. Create a role and attach to the EC2 instance. Create a role, attach to the EC2 instance. We learn many times. This is the place where you go and attach the role here. But roles in actions, not now. When time comes, I'll show you. But do you need to select any role now? No need. Don't do it. No need. And then guys, leave this host name type everything default DNS host name, because when you launch an EC2 instance, you need to have a DNS name also. Na? For your EC2 instance, you have two things. One is IP address and then DNS name. So you don't want DNS name? You don't want DNS name? We need, right? So for that, keep everything default. You will get the host name and host name type. You want IP name, resource name, keep it default. And then here, instance auto recovery. Instance auto recovery. When you launch an EC2 instance, you will get 2/2 checks should be passed. Yes or no? Just in case if we'll get 1/2, we'll go and stop and start the EC2 instance. That is reactive, not proactive. Correct? If something happens, we'll go and work it. But if you go instance auto recovery, automatically it will recover. If you go and enable this, by default it is there. So by default it is there. So you will not get maximum 95%. You will not get 0/2, 1/2, because automatically AWS will go and clear that. So, but you don't want that option. You disable it. Otherwise, enable it. So what will happen if you enable auto recovery? Automatically, you will get 2/2. Automatically, you will get 2/2. Okay. That is auto recovery. And then shutdown behavior. What is this? Shutdown behavior meaning, let's say you launched one EC2 instance. You went and installed so many applications inside it. And you think that tomorrow you will go and work again on the machine. So generally in your EC2 instance also, can you go and shut down like this? You can go and shut. That is a Windows machine. That's a line. You can go and get shut down from the. If you shut down, you should terminate. You should stop. It should stop. That is the reason why here shutdown behavior should be stop, not terminate. But if you select terminate, what will happen? If you go and click on shutdown, thinking that it will stop the EC2 instance, but if you have selected terminate option, the EC2 instance will be terminated. So shutdown behavior should be always stop. But if you have any gullies requirement to get terminated, select the terminate. Next is stop hibernate behavior. What is hibernate? You don't know hibernate? Huh? So you open your laptop, you're watching movies, all of a sudden your parents you'll go, your friends come, you'll go and close the laptop, no? And your laptop will go in which mode? Sleep mode, no? You know that sleep mode. Okay, then you open the laptop and then you need to boot it? No, right? Or your entire data is stored temporarily in the memory. So it will not shut down or it will not reboot again. Instantly it will come up. So that meaning you no need to shut down the machine. Just keep it in sleep mode. You know sleep mode, no? Your laptops have sleep mode. If you don't power up, I just close the machine, it will go into the sleep mode. And then if I open my laptop, will it boot it? It will not boot. So if you want to skip that boot process, enable this hibernate option. In real time, you might be, let's say you might have a 2000 GB RAM EC2 instance. And if you are using 2000 GB RAM EC2 instance, how much big application might have inside it? And if you want to stop the machine, you stop it. To start it will take time. And if you want to skip that boot process, put it into the hibernate mode. Hibernate is nothing but sleep mode. But do you need hibernate mode now? No need. So not select. Termination protection. What is that? Termination protection. So termination protection meaning, guys, termination protection meaning, let's say tomorrow is what? Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. Okay. On weekend, you have a nice sitting. I mean, sitting meaning with your friends. Nice. You had a nice. Why you're laughing? Sitting meaning that, okay. My bad. So I was not sitting like that. So on the weekends, we all meet our friends. So yeah. So let's say, okay, you take that sitting only. I'll take that example only. Okay. You take sitting, Bhargav and then Gopi, Ananda, or Vinod. Bhargav and Vinod. We have these two people. So they had a night sitting on the Saturday. And while group discussion. Okay, let me take group discussion only. Okay, I'll take group discussion. So generally, once you have a sitting, so many topics you will get. Yes, unnecessary topics you will get. So like this, similarly, Bhargav and Vinod, they are in the sitting, and then group discussion started. Ma, Riyas sir. Okay, so and then he said, let's assume they both are working under me in my company. So what I did was, I told that, hey, Bhargav, Vinod, don't terminate that EC2 instance, which is very important. Don't terminate it. This is the thing that I said on Friday to them. On Saturday, they started the discussion. Mama Bhargav, Vinod is saying, Riya sir told not to terminate the EC2 instance. That meaning, can we really terminate it? Is it possible for us to terminate? Definitely, Riya sir has put some check. We cannot terminate. How can he open EC2 instance to us just like that? So Vinod will say better to Bhargav. Vinod is saying that we cannot terminate that machine. Bhargav will say, Arey, don't do macha, don't do that. Will get terminated. We'll get killed by Riya sir. Right? And then Vinod say that, no, let's go and test it. Group discussions, unnecessary group discussions. So now he opened the console and they cannot even see where are the EC2 instances, but he saw, this is the EC2. Right click. See, Vinod is saying, Mama, this will not get terminated. Bhargav is, Arey, it will get terminated. Don't do it. So he clicked, got terminated. They do the better. And who is the most affected person? Me. Right? I am the most affected person. Right? So, so the thing is to avoid this unnecessary. This is called Dula. Yes. So to avoid this kind of things, unnecessary things, we can do is termination protection. I should go and enable. If I enable termination protection, what will happen? Can you terminate the EC2 instance? No. By the time you come on Monday after having glass of buttermilk, right? Then when you are terminating the EC2 instance, you cannot say that, Babu, you cannot terminate the machine. Termination protection is enabled. Unless you go and disable this, you cannot terminate the EC2. So to accidentally terminate, fortunately or unfortunately, mistakenly, you are terminating the EC2 instance. So if you want to stop that, go and enable this. Termination protection, enable. Otherwise, no need. But in your real time, is always better to go and enable that. Yes or no? Because you might be having juniors, you might be having some freshers which they don't know, or you only as an experienced person. I also did some time. I was very quick in my company and I was going and terminating unnecessary things. And unfortunately, Pusuk, I selected the important one and terminated it. It happens. So can you go and enable this termination protection for very important EC2 instances? You can go and enable. Okay. So next, similarly here, stop protection. Select meaning use. Murali, select meaning select, enable or disable meaning. Okay. And stop protection. Stop protection meaning same. You have a database machine. Will you go and stop it? You cannot terminate. Terminate meaning if you enable termination protection, you cannot terminate. If you enable termination protection, stop protection, you cannot stop. Mistakenly and fortunately, unfortunately, accidentally, if you go and stop it, you should not stop this. If you enable, you cannot stop. Next, detailed. Okay, which is the service is used for monitoring purpose? You saw. Okay. I know. Okay. CloudWatch. Okay. Now you tell me this. In CloudWatch, we have two types of monitorings. What are those? Basic monitoring and detailed monitoring. Very good. Which one is free? Basic. Which one is charged? Detailed monitoring. And can you rate this here? Detailed CloudWatch monitoring. Will you enable it? Because it will be charged, billable. And what is the difference? Basic, how many minutes? Basic 5 minutes, detail 1 minute. So if at all you want to monitor every minute, go and enable this. Otherwise, 5 minutes of your monitoring will be free. Will you select this? No. Credit specifications, CPU credits. Remember which one? Burstable performance instances. Remember? So CPU credits, you will get it. So that is billable. You will enable it? No, don't enable it. Credit specification. You want unlimited burstable? Don't do it. Don't select anything. Okay. And then we have here placement group. Chitty, placement group. Remember how many types of placement groups are there? Cluster, spread, and then partition. Very good. So when you're launching the EC2 instance, can you group this? I'm going and launching 5 EC2 instances. Can I create a group and group them? Simple. How to do it? Simple. Guys, did we created any group here? No. It's very simple. Let's say, for example, I open it. On the left side, do you see placement groups here? Simple. Create placement group. You're grouping it. What is a, okay, let's say, for example, cluster PG, I say. Cluster placement. We have 3 strategies. No, what are those? Cluster, spread, partition. Which one? I'll select cluster, for example. Can you create a group? Group created. And then when you're launching the EC2 instance, select that. That's it. You're grouping it. How many EC2 instances that you want to put it in cluster PG? Put it. Okay. But do you need now? No need. So just ignore that. Okay. EBS optimized instances. What is that? EBS optimized instances. Chite. EBS optimized meaning we have the EC2 instance. And from where you're getting the volumes? From the EBS. Yes or no? You create the volume here. Guys, you create a volume and attach it here. Correct? Yes or no? This is EBS. This is EC2. Okay. Now, see here, guys. Whenever you're putting the data here, nothing but it is going and saving here. Yes or no? So, we already learned this is network attached drives. EBS are network attached drives, correct? Somewhere EBS we create and then we go and attach it here. So, whatever the data you put, it has to travel all the way here and then update here, correct? Yes or no? Yes, it will go like this. But there are few EC2 instance types, which this is which type T2 micro. But there are few instance types which are, these types are optimized to EBS. Optimized meaning it has a very good connection, and also the speed is more faster. So from here, directly we can go to Miapur. And there might be also a better or shortcut. You can go through that also, right? Which you can reach faster. Similarly, so this EC2 instance, the data will go to EBS very faster. This EC2 instances are optimized to EBS. That is called EBS optimized instance. This T2 micro is EBS optimized. Bigger machines are EBS. So if you enable this, what will happen? You will have a good performance between your EBS and the EC2 instance. Okay. Capacity reservation. Will you do the reservation? Don't do it. Tenancy, shared or dedicated? You need to go for the, okay, you are staying in hostel room, shared or dedicated? Shared meaning 5,000, 6,000. Dedicated meaning 15,000. Which one would you choose? Shared. So here also tenancy should be shared or dedicated? Shared. So don't select it, by default it is shared only. Okay. And guys, RAM, disk, who will handle all these things in the backend? AWS. Do we need to select all these things? Don't select. Kernel, which kernel? Automatically we selected which one? Red Hat. No, Red Hat are the kernel, right? So automatically you'll get selected all these things. So you don't need to worry on this. Nitro enclave is the one which you need to little bit. Nitro enclave meaning, if I remember, we have a concept called T. What's that? TEE. Trusted execution environment, I think. Or is that trusted execution environment? So you have launched an EC2 instance and you are doing very, very confidential transactions in your EC2 instance. Maybe NASA is also using it. Maybe big government projects, US projects, or and basically the data in the EC2 instance should be very secure and very sensitive data you are using it. In that case, you go and enable this Nitro Enclave. So Nitro Enclave has a trusted execution environment in which you can securely process sensitive data, right? So please write down this. Nitro Enclave is a trusted execution environment, T, which you can process, which you can securely process sensitive data. Our T2 micro supports Nitro Enclave? No. Done, na? Okay. Nice. Okay, that is micro enclave, guys. And I'm telling you, you search entire internet, any tube, any demi, any source. Nowhere nowhere the trainer will explain each and every option. But I'm going and explaining you each and every option. Because why? Meaning in real time, when when you go and doing the jobs, there based on the requirement, you need to select it. You cannot say I don't know. For that reason, I'm just going and teaching you each and everything. So that's advantage that you're getting it. So licenses, who will take care? AWS. You don't need to worry on this. Metadata. Uh, do we need metadata? We should need we need metadata data about the EC2 instance. So all these things you can just leave it default. Don't touch it at all. And user data. Did we learn about user data? What is user data? Bootstrap script. What is that? Bootstrap scripting. So you need to put some script. No. So if we are launching the Linux EC2 instance, which is the script that we use? Shell script we use. So after a couple of days, maybe after we do so many labs, then I'll tell you how to use the user data. Okay. But as you're doing it for first time, don't use user data now. That's it. And number of EC2 instances, how many you want to launch? Only one. Can you launch multiple also at the same time? Yes. Is it clear, guys, everyone? All options, how to launch? Now you feel that, sir, we have learned too much. So many things. It's not so many things. Now you tell me, I'll cancel this. Okay. And you tell me whether I need to select that or not. Huh? Let's test our memory power. Okay. Ready? Ready? So click on launch instance. Okay. Tell me. Name. Kumari? No. Huh? Give some name. Okay. Name of the EC2 instance. Next. Tell me what I need to click. Browse. Next. Retire. Very good. 64-bit. So select it. Instance type. Data micro. Keeper. You create a new keeper. But I already created, no? So which one I need to select? What I need to do first? Edit. Okay. VPC default. Next. Subnet 1A. Auto assign public IP. Enable, disable. Enable. Create a new secret group. Select. Select existing. And which one? Do I need to go here? No. But do you understood? And then do I need to do anything here? Configuring storage? No. So, but here, okay, that's fine. And then in advanced details, do I need to do anything here? No need to do. But if you want to test, we can test termination protection. Enable. I'll show it here. Okay. Enable it. And do I need to do anything here? No. Simple. And you want to, this one I want to show, that's why I select. Otherwise, you don't even select that termination protection. See, we spend the entire class, but you can launch the EC2 instance in few seconds. Can I click on launch instance? Yes, launch. Boom. So successfully we launched the EC2 instance. So now, guys, what is the state here? Chitty, there are 6 states. How many? How many? 6 states. When you launch the EC2 instance, what is a pending? And then it will move to running. Pending, running. Say that. Pending, running. Then when you stop it, now it went to running. When you stop the EC2 instance, it is a stopping, stopped. What? stopping, stop. And then when you terminate the EC2 instance, shutting down, terminated. What's that? Shutting down, terminated. Okay, say that pending, running, stopping, stopped, shutting down, terminated. That one are the 6 states that you should know. Okay, I write. When you launch the EC2 instance, what is the status you get? Pending, and then it will go to running. When you stop the EC2 instance, stopping and then stop. When you terminate the EC2 instance, and then shutting down and terminate. Write down this. There is a question. Sir, hi sir. How to use EC2 instance for executing Linux command? Just now we launched. Wait. If you wait, you'll get to know. So we'll go there. The next step is to connect the EC2 instance and execute the commands only, no? Swapna. We'll go one by one. Okay? Done na? Okay, see here. What? Instance? I cannot hear. Nothing. Okay. So, okay, see here. Now we have the Linux instance. Now the instance state is running. Guys, what I'll do is, I'll talk about all these things in tomorrow's session. But now you know how to launch an EC2 instance. Correct? But don't do anything. The only task for you is go with all the options and select whatever is required and launch. That is the only task for you today. Tomorrow, what I do is, I launch, and then we'll go and learn about all these tabs, and we'll go and connect to the EC2, and we'll do next steps. But for now, you just go ahead and launch, okay? And just go through it. I'll show. So here, guys, remember, for every instance, we'll be having an instance ID. If you create a volume ID. If you create a snapshot ID. If you create an AMI ID. If you create a volume ID. If you create an instance ID. So everything, for every resource, you have an ID. That is ID here. And what is the state now? It is running. What is the instance type? T2 micro. Status checks. If I refresh this, 2/2 checks passed. Did we learn this? 2/2 checks are passed. Do we need to worry now? No need. Kusuk, if you got 1/2 there, what you do? Stop and start. How to stop a start? Simple. Select this, stop instance, and then start instance. Understood? How to stop? Okay. Now I'll stop it. See here. So now, okay, before that, alarms. Alarm concept, which is a service? Which is a service has alarm concepts? CloudWatch. In CloudWatch, we have alarm topics. When we go to CloudWatch, we learn there. And in which availability zone we have our EC2 instance? 1A. And this has the public IP address. All these things, you have it. So now, how to stop the EC2 instance? Select it and then stop. If I click on stop, what is the state you have? Stopping. And then it will go to stop. So if I refresh it, this is a refresh option. It is stopping. And do you see this? Now it is stop. And how to start? Start instance. Understood? How to stop and start. And now, if you use terminate option without stop instance, what is it? If you use terminate option without stop. Okay, guys, to terminate the EC2 instance, do we need to stop the EC2 instance first? No need. You can directly fusak. No issues. Okay. Okay, now, see here, guys. And don't go to all these options. Okay. Just only go with this instance state options. Start to stop. And then if you click on start, It will be running. When it is running, do the reboot. Do the reboot. And what you want me to tell is tomorrow, if you reboot, you can observe one thing. You tell me that tomorrow. If you click on reboot, you can observe one thing. And what is that observation? Tell me tomorrow. Okay. So that's it. And then, boy, are we going to attach additional volumes in next steps? Everything we do. Everything we will do, Anusha and everyone. Guys, we'll go smoothly, no? Slowly we'll go. I understand, huh? We'll go one by one. Okay, we'll go one by one. Okay, see here, guys. How to terminate? How to terminate? So instance state and then click on Chiti. See here, Papa. See. So click on terminate. So click on terminate. So see here. There is one thing. If you are terminating the EC2 instance, all the data will get terminated. We learned that. If you terminate the EC2 instance, your volumes will also get deleted. And it says this. On a EBS backed instance, the default action is for the root EBS volume to be deleted when the instance is terminated. Storage on any local drives will be lost. What is the meaning of local drives here? ISV. Local drives meaning here ISV. If you are stopping and terminating it, your ISV data is also gone. So now I click on terminate. If I click on terminate, you see the red. This is what I was telling. Is it possible for me to terminate? No. What termination protection we have enabled? No. What we need to go? We need to go and disable it. And how to disable it? Go to actions and instance settings, change termination protection. From here, you need to uncheck. I'm going again. See here. Go to actions, here, change termination protection, and then uncheck, and then save. Can I go and terminate now? Yes, go and then terminate. Pasak. What is the state? Shutting down and then terminated, you will get it. Let's wait. Do you see? Terminated. So terminated meaning what? Done. So now do I need to worry of this EC2 instance now? No. So if you have in terminate state, wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, automatically will get disappear. You will not see the instance anymore, but you need to wait. Okay. Is it clear? Now, there is a question. Sir, there is a message while terminating, sir. Do we need to worry about it? We already discussed just now. If you're terminating it, it says that your root volume will be deleted automatically. We know that. And your ISV data will also get deleted. We know that. That is what it is saying. Sir, only we launch in the console only in real time. Sir, only we launch EC2 in the console only, or in real time we launch it through a Linux from console only. Okay, so guys, once you are done with this lab, go to dashboard and then do the refresh. Everything should be 0 except key page and security. And do I see here placement group is 1? So what you need to do? Go and delete it. Go and delete it. Now I go to the dashboard. I refresh. Everything should be 0 except key page and security. And I see the instances 1. Go inside it. And it is in terminated state. That meaning no problem. After 5 minutes, that will get disappeared. Okay, ma? Understood? So what is your task today? Launch the EC2 instance, Linux EC2 instance, and then enable termination option. Simple. And go through all the option while launching the EC2 instance. Select yes or no, what is that? So don't chumma go and do select and launch. So you are learning it here, okay? Open everything one by one. You see all the options. Whichever you want to select, select it. I told you, select this and don't select that. So be careful. Don't select that and this unnecessarily, okay? Understood, ma? And also reboot. Write down this launch EC2 instance, write down the task. Tomorrow I'll give the good task. For now, you take one couple of tasks. Launch the EC2 instance, launch the Linux EC2 instance. Launch Linux Red Hat EC2 instance. Launch Linux Red Hat EC2 instance with the termination protection enabled. With the termination protection enabled. Okay. Okay. And then next task, reboot the EC2 instance and observe. Reboot the EC2 instance and observe. Next, stop the EC2 instance. And last, terminate the EC2 instance. Terminate the EC2 instance. And last one, check EC2 dashboard. That is important, no? Last one, check EC2 dashboard. Okay, understood? So today we spend a lot of time to, sir, we have to reboot only after stopping it. No, guys, if you want to terminate, no need to stop. Directly you can terminate. If you want to reboot, no need to stop. Directly you can reboot. So there is no relation between anything. You can anytime go and stop, anytime you can go and reboot. But if it in stop state, can you reboot it? No, right? Similarly, like your laptop. Okay. If it is stop, no bill. But I'm telling you, you stop it. And finally, at the end of the day, you need to terminate. As we are learning, better option is to terminate. But don't do it in real time. In real time, you should not terminate. Why we need to delete after terminating? What delete? Why we need to delete after terminating? Your question is not clear. Yes. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Did I told you to delete security group? Huh? Did I told you to delete security group? Then why? When I say nothing, don't do. Default security group should be there. You should not delete it. Okay. Yes, all are free if you follow me. If you follow me, and if I said select this and don't select it, if you follow me, that is free. Rest are all. Yeah. Can you give the final CC for today, guys? Very good. Yes. Vishal, that is good. ఈ రైన్ లో తింటే హైదరాబాద్ బిర్యానీ తినాలి, వింటే రియా సార్ క్లాస్ వినాలి. వెరీ గుడ్, శంకర్. We should put that in public, man. Everyone should understand. Very nice. Okay. Great. Excellent, guys. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next practicals on EC2. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.